Oh, right. Well, that was extensive. They seem to be around a lot, huh? Yeah, they're gold frames. Yep. Edlin Prioston. You see a key turn gently, steadily, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents in oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, bags. Door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps. A tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites and short breaths as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy, hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs. Then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The one falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. Ooh. And a straightforward attempted thievery turning into a murder. Little details like them emptying their pockets of anything that makes noise because they're planning on sneaking out. But then the brother just pushed her down the stairs. And knowing these kinds of narratives, there's a decent chance that the other sibling wasn't totally into that choice. They're thinking about joining family over in Deerford. They have it far better than us. You think these rains would be a boon for the crops? You look how colorful these characters are. They're so all over the place in appearance. I'm not going to marathon them. They're pretty long readings and they're not relevant to the plot. Just color, individual people's backgrounds, presumably that character's history. Careful if you head east. Guards patrol the Easternwood, but not the Black Meadow. So we'll see. I might eventually read all of them, but I'm not going to do them all back to back when I find them in a crowd like this. Oh boy. Swainer. We know there's more grain in there, Tremble. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away now, lads. But we'll be back, Tremble. And we'll have fair prices. Or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. They're not getting along very well, are they? Against the grain. Hey, it's a dwarf. And they're gone. Probably not a lot going around here. Nope. Can I just go in? Will he attack me on sight like he said he would? An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and a woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Hold on. I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into this little crusade now? My name is Jaskier. I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. Tremble shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap. Now. And Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Who's Swainer? The dwarf. The one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. What was all that ruckus outside? Tremble shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer's whipped them up in a froth, going on about grain stores, claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound in the west side of town for ale, and Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way to town, the crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting is from the farmers. Oh, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers? Tremble gestures the sacks and containers. It's gone off. Rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. Tremble frowns. It's not. He pauses. Look, Swainer's always been a rotten bastard. With stores so limited, maybe I save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Alfra, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? Do the villagers know about the grain supply? Tremble looks embarrassed. Some, the innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough. If we can just keep things calm until then, we'll be in the clear. He's all like, this is just how it goes. And everyone's raising a stink over nothing, but at the same time, he's like, I am going to control who has the information about what's happening, and I'm going to choose who gets to eat. So it's, yeah. It was right to say it's a clean story for a messy situation. Was a really good way of putting it. The innkeeper. Tremble winces. I wouldn't drink the ale is all I'm saying. Oh boy, so the ale's being made with rotten wheat? Maybe I ought to have a talk with Swainer then. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you can convince him. Resolve the feud between Tremble and Swainer. Might be good. A rancid stench rises from the grain. It's mushy and mottled with green. Oh boy. Oh god, yeah. Stop. That was the thief glasses. Danger, danger. My father's a good man. He's always done right by the town. I'm sure Father can explain better just what's happened here.
Greetings.
You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainer? I had some questions about this whole situation. Tremble breathes a short laugh. What's to explain? It isn't very complicated. Yes, thank you, random motorcycle. That was loud.
Good day to you.
Can you go up that? Nope. Nope, no interactions in here. Alright. Swainer's kicking up a stink, a fuss, a ramshackle, a hubbub, a shindig, a shenanigan. Some of these words did not actually fit with the other ones. Pillars of Eternity was made possible through the contributions of 77,000 fans. We at Obsidian would like to extend our gratitude for the opportunity, feedback, and support. Yep. There's that. How big is this area? Oh no, it all comes pre-explored, which is kind of neat, but also kind of a pain in the ass, because I'm trying to carefully look around. And all the mess is kind of a mess for me. Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust husk. Oop. Speed mode. Get it. There we go. Just trying to get acquainted. I don't think I've even have seen half these locations before, despite having played the game at this part of it. You think these rains would be a boon for the crops? Been thinking about joining family over in Deerfoot. They have it better, far better than us. Careful if you. Oh, yep. They don't protect that zone. It's that message again. Used to have a lot of fortune tellers. Yep. Rains are fucked up, and these are more yellow people. I mean, people with gold names. Ah, a blacksmith. Ain't that interesting? Might even be able to look into some proper goods that can help me out. Thieving. Oh, not thieving. Thieving. Not many people in here these days, just me. And Lord Radrick's people, of course. Dented and dull, these swords look ready for the forge. Lord Redrick himself looks for the smithy for supplies. The bellows sigh into the furnace, and the coals burn brighter still. Yeah. More chances to pick up lore to read. There's so much writing in this game. Every other room has two adventurers talking to each other that both have like a multi-paragraph story, and then I've got books I'm picking up. Sorry, I have to keep this at this, or Tau Tanu will have my hide on the rack next. An account of Tau Tanu's sales. The pages are nearly empty. Oh boy. Pretty closed area for you to be trying to do anything in, huh? This Amama man is of an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot, and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years. Seen all manner of things over the years. Good luck and bad. Touch now glances at the guard standing watch over the wall, but the Black Hammer smithery remains. What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves. Maybe. To make some coin. As if the lot would dare. Tatano scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon. Or my shipment, at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of the weapons go to his grace, Lord Radrick. Tatano glances at the nearby guard. And that's as it should be. But doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. I'll find your supplies. Tatano nods. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up or they can take up farming instead. Hey. That's something worth looking into before I try to get anything from him. Let's revisit the characters that are around here in the corner, though. See if I can get Ed there to go any further. And then Aloth is down here. Really clearly highlighted on the map as significant characters. And we had an incredibly brief exchange, but Eder might just be waiting for me to walk away. And yeah, but he just says welcome. Let's head this way for a bit, see what happens. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
What's going on? One of the other men points to the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink and his gaze is focused. Mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you what these fancy Adir manners are worth. We don't take that kind of treatment. Not from foreigners, especially not from Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. And why is that? If someone's baiting you as obviously as he is, it's generally wisest to walk away. Look at each other. One of the men gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now, but this one better watch his step around here, because we're not going anywhere. With a final scowl at the elf, he turns to leave. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts, though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
How'd you manage to get stuck out here? That is something of a long story. I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in Sithwood, part of the main land of the Adir Empire. Both of my parents served in nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no good open positions in those houses, so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I'm traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A Bewick.
And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. Well, it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
Just how'd you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
He did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. So he's clearly trying to hide the reason why he has some other voice. He actively had to fight it from speaking just now. If you're so good at that, you'd almost think you could avoid the situation. But I guess, it's harder to see coming. What are you doing in the Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And you? I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
His darting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
And suddenly I'm the melee character in the party. Yeah, let's back you up. Alright, you found a dwarf chanter.
How may I help?
What kind of nightmare spells do you have? Edit grimoire. Yep. Okay. So, as is a bit standard for D&D style spellcasters, we have to memorize a specific number of spells per tier, and that's our castable spells. At the moment, we only have first level spells, but we do have 5 options. We have Archimir's Dazzling Lights. Enemies within the AoE lose... It's a circle, not a cone. Lose 10 will, are dazed, and gain accuracy? What? Dazed. The victim's accuracy is reduced by 10. Dexterity, perception, blah blah blah. Oh. They also lose attack speed. Plus 10 accuracy versus reflex. I'm not sure if I understand that part. Overwhelms anyone in the area of effect with a brilliant and bewildering pyrotechnic display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Fan of Flames, an actual attack. Bunch of fire damage. Creates a cone of fire in the front of the caster, causing burn damage to anyone in the area. Kalikoth's Sunless Grasp. The caster's hands become so cold as to freeze what they touch. Does freeze damage to a target and reduces its accuracy. That's a touch one? It must be a touch spell, yeah. It sounds like a touch spell, and it has no listed range. Minoleta's Minor Missiles. 3 projectiles, 13 to 22 crush corrode damage. Summons 3 spell missiles that Batter the target, inflicting crush or corrode damage. And then Wizard's Double. Creates a duplicate of the caster to distract enemies, granting the caster a high deflection bonus until he or she is hit or crit. So it's a huge bonus against incoming attacks for deflection, but only for until one hit happens. So it's a brief one, but it could potentially avoid a lot of attacks if you get very lucky. Potentially good if he gets covered in bad news. So you have one cone attack, one touch spell, one self cast, one regular ranged attack, and one AoE attack. They got all of the categories, more or less, in one go. I don't know, Wizard's Double seems effective as a defensive spell, but this one also is pretty good, potentially. AoE. Ah, not faux AoE, just AoE. This one's faux AoE. So that means that Fan of Flames can have friendly fire if you're not careful, making it way more dangerous. I want to put Wizard's Double in there, I think. There we go. How many spells can he cast? 3, it looks like, per... That's probably per day. There's the Dazzling Lights, Fan of Flames, Wizard's Double. Definitely has friendly fire. Alright, so he can only cast 3 spells, and then he's out. Probably until he rests. Yeah. Which is a while, potentially. Wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells, but they are always limited by the capacity of their grimoires. At any given time, a grimoire may only contain 4 spells of each level. Click on the spell on the right panel to remove it from the grimoire. Yeah, okay. I like having a spellbook when I'm playing D&D. Especially as a druid, just my giant bag of tricks and solutions that I get, where I get to come up with creative solutions to complicated problems in many cases, or sometimes complicated solutions to simple problems. Hey, but it's a little more intimidating. So while I kind of wanted a spellcaster, I wanted to have a chanter on this character because I didn't want to have a grimoire on my protagonist because it's a lot to manage. It's one thing in D&D when you have one character to memorize and be completely focused on. It's another thing when a game is then like, yo, what if you had 6 characters? It can be a lot to manage. If I remember correctly, one of the appeals of Tyranny was that it came up with like a kind of shorthand, more straightforward spell system that was a little less heavy than this one, which is kind of nice. A lot of villagers here. A drunkard, a server, and then yeah, those 3 are there. There's Pasca. Anyone seen Pearly around? He's usually drinking his head off at this tower a day. Yeah, he got killed by a bear. Also his friend.
Gods keep you.
Hello and welcome to the... The innkeeper looks up. Oh, it's you. Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work at the kitchen. She laughs. So, what would you like? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, whoa. 1100 experience. That's a ton. Well, let me see. The actual buildings have been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We got a lot of new faces in here too, fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Tenfrith's the big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. I used to work the tables actually until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. He even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see, the Black Hound? Is still sitting upstairs pining after him, poor old girl. Aw. Place ended up in my hands somehow, she laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please, sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. Can I see what you have for sale? I'm sure you'll find something to your liking. We have the finest cook in the Deerwood. And those are foods. A savory pie. Who doesn't like stats? Oh, and they make potions of regeneration. Neat. Not wildly expensive either, I suppose. Retrain character. Store. Recruit adventurers if you want. That's where you can, if you don't like the story characters, you can just make characters, which is interesting. Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's an interesting feature. I like having characters with personalities and all that, so I prefer... It's something that comes up whenever we talk about Pokemon and stuff like that. Like, I like having a party of characters. It's like... The only appeal for me of everyone making their own character is... of making a bunch of separate characters is if each one's being played by a person. Otherwise, it's just a blank slate, and that's kind of a bummer compared to getting an actual character like you can from the game. Retrain. So we have the option of fixing fixing mistakes I make with the characters, I guess. Oh, you can see what allies are up to when they're not in the party. If you assign them to adventures, you can see how long it will take for them to complete their assignments. Yeah, so apparently you can send them on tasks. My stash. Value 5 CP. They're not amazing. So many. How much money does she have? Does she have a fixed amount of money? It seems to still be going up. So I guess I'm getting away with it. Trade? Yeah, I made the money. I don't see any indication of her having a limited supply. So maybe she doesn't. Many characters do. Not in a hurry to buy stuff yet. Not from her necessarily, though those potions could be handy in the long term. Right now I'm just kind of looking to deal with my backlog of items, perhaps. That was worth way more. Yeah, the armors are worth way more. I also have a collection of hats. Alright. We both leveled up. Oh god. And I get more of these points. I can delve deeper into my lore, if I would like. And then mechanics and survival, I suppose. Phrases. Yay! I'm actually gonna have 3 phrases as my character who sings 3 phrase songs. Alright. I gotta wait for these to unlock, though. Like, I'm still dealing with a limited pool of level 1 phrases, where these are gonna be where the cool stuff is these upper tiers. So increase movement rate and reflex of all allies. 10 reflex. Or enemies lose concentration, which has its appeals. Or drain a potion of endurance from all enemies in the area of effect. That's fairly strong. And yeah, the linger's getting stronger. Base is 2 seconds. So it does appear to get stronger from intelligence. It's already up by that much. Huh. So it lasts 6 seconds, so it'll damage enemies by 4.4, which is not terrible for an AoE. I think I want to grab that. Come, soft winds of death. I think I could take that. Done? There we go. Alright, time to edit my song. That's not how you do that. Edit chance. There we go. So first, reduce incoming damage to help my party out. Then make my allies more resistant. And then I can attack. Cause some proper damage. And then they all linger. Neat. I don't know why this one vibrates weirdly. Probably the font size is making something weird happen with some kind of detection or system. That's a trip. But yeah, combat starts often sooner than we're necessarily completely grouped together. So when the fight first starts, I'm probably with my allies. Well, this is an anti-enemy one technically, isn't it? Yeah, it does apply to the enemies, doesn't it? It doesn't say how big my aura is. There we go. I was thinking about my logic. I'm like, oh, right. I was just thinking how I start the fight with my allies, and then I get closer to the enemies after some time passes. So I should probably start with the ally buff, then the enemy debuff, and then the enemy attack, and then so on. That makes some sense. And now I've got my chant prepared. Isn't this fun? So I guess I could set up a series of chants. So like this is chant A. And if I actually do customize a series of different chants, I'll have more on that bar. But right now it's just A. Because I don't have a lot of variability to play with at the moment. Am I fully in the mood to level Aloth right now? I just leveled another character.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Where are you? There you are. Y'all are so spread out. Let's wander around a little bit. I don't really want to go right back into the level up screen again yet. Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned this right, the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you'll be eating nothing else. Savory pie. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. I will name a dish in your honor. Hey, he's very happy. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Oh, calm down. That's a thieving. My bad. Well, Tenforth, it's nice to know you. It's also nice to have one instance of a good thing happening in this game, basically. So that's nice. You just coming to town? Kith like you seem to do alright. What is he? He's got huge ears, right? Yeah. Huh. Is he the... I'm not sure what he is. He's probably that one vaguely Hobbit-like race that's in here. Oh, you're allowed to grab whatever's there. One of these days I'm actually going to read some of these. Oh, Scroll of Fan of Flames. Neat. And then, yeah. Money. Maybe I'll do it right now. I'm crazy like that. That's a part 2, though. And that's a part 2. I need to find the part 1s. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. 1. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abaddon rebuilt himself from ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, so long as the soul is dedicated to the task. Work hard, work well. Abaddon demands only honest labor and forthright service. All errors can be reforged if your first intentions were pure. All ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft. Excel at what you have entrusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. Each generation must forge its successors. Teach your trade to all who are willing to learn, and in doing so, multiply the fruits of your knowledge. All difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Meet strife with humility and acceptance. Let adversity temper the ingot of your will, and you will never shatter. Embrace your situation. Fulfill the duties of your rank and meddle not in the affairs of your betters. All guilds fail at their weakest link. All loss can be reforged into strength. Profitable work heals all emptiness. So long as you have the tools of your trade, you will always be able to forge wealth anew. Value the works of others, and they will value your works in return. Share the harvest with the hungry, and your tools with the destitute. All souls can be reforged into whatever we will. Hard work is not exclusive to life. Death is no time for complacency. Commit yourself to excellence in this cycle and the next. So it's an entire philosophy built entirely around blacksmithing. Putting that book away. And you get a cape. Oh wait, you already have a cape. And it's bad. You get a cape and you get to go in the box. Aloth's leather armor. DR of 6. Recovery speed only minus 30. I guess that's normal actually. Plus 10% ability area of effect. Ooh, it's tempting to put that on my character because he'd benefited from it more, but ripping this armor off this guy seems like bad roleplay. It's been enchanted once. I should figure out how much I can enchant my stuff. Although maybe I don't want to invest that much right now. Aloth's leather has been lightly enchanted to enhance his spellcasting abilities. It also appears to have custom decorative patterns stitched into the surface. Unlike most deerwood and leather armor, Aloth's has been tailored in the Adir style, meaning that the torso is more heavily reinforced but lacks sleeves due to Adir's hot and humid climate. Heavy on the chest reinforcements. He's got a grimoire, which doesn't seem to have stats. It's just a thing that, yeah, just opening it takes you into this. So the item doesn't seem to have its own context necessarily. You can take it off of him though. Huh. He has a scepter. Range of 10 meters. So it's a projectile weapon, yep. Scepters are the most imperious looking magical implements and are often favored by Adiran wizards for this reason. Like wands and rods, they have flexible damage types. This one does crushing and slash. Huh. Can I change his colors? I can. He has his own starting personality though of sorts. Woohoo! Woohoo! So I cannot enchant my ring. But if I click enchant here... Trying to learn something here. So it has 14 enchantment durability, essentially. If I make a legendary quality, that uses up half of the slots. More than half the slots. I can make of intellect with what I currently have, which is actually stuff I have. It would cost 300 CP. Wait, can I enchant it myself? But it still requires 300 CP? Requires level 2. Level 2 what? I don't think I understand how enchanting works, actually. But yeah, I have these items. Bloodstone, Skulder Ear, Springberry. And bonus intellect is good for you. Don't know if I'd want to spend that here on this item, as opposed to better stuff later. Worth considering, though. Just sitting here wondering, like, is it based on lore or something? There's Swainer and Brethan. If you're not on an if you're not an ale, I don't have business with you. They both have this exact same comment.
Greetings.
Don't know who you are, and I don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth's eyes narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rarities who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it, too. I saw you outside the mill. What was that all about? Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town, on account of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring in, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. That's what it's fucking about. Now shove off. What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Swainer considers it. Briefly, he looks to the others. Fair enough, you bring us something to wet our throats, and might be I'll feel up to trading words. You're not an ale, I don't have business with you. How many ale do I already have? Beer, ale. I've got beer and ale. This seems like a good combo.
Hello.
I said, about the trouble with the miller. Hair off, rabbit. I haven't anything else to say to you. Maybe I can come to go talk to him for you. Ha! You think you'll get through to him when we haven't? The man's thick as a peat bog. I hear he's got his soul red. Found his kin used to grow Sunnard cheese for their Adern lords up until they figured out their side was losing. Explains why his knees still ache to bend whenever lord or lady crosses the road. He'll be holed up in that mill for days, the coward. The dwarf eyes you consideringly. But here, if you want to give it a shot, then good luck. We'll owe you one if you manage it.
Good day to you.
I have 2 beers and an ale. Is that not enough? Do I specifically need 3? Oh, there we go. I'd like to buy a round for the fine fellows over there. Fine fellows, you're having me on. Any more fighting, I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. The innkeeper frowns. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. Here you are. Right then, here. 3 drinks for 3 fools. Just take care with them. They're a hot-tempered bunch. Looks like I needed 3 beers specifically. Maybe I could have skipped it if I had the right number.
Hello.
I've bought drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I'd never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hound's shit beer. God, that's good. Alright, then you've got my attention. What is it you got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Just attack him. Maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Alfra pay half what we do. The dwarf sighs. And maybe we've been a bit rough on him. But what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve. And do you think Trumbull's going to be sorry about it when we do? Look, there's no sense threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Twinner eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug, then sighs. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from the tree out there. He looks to his comrades. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Don't worry, don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? Well, we resolved it, but we didn't really resolve it because they still have a problem that probably isn't going to go away. So that's a bummer. And no, I don't think she wants to hire them because she actively dislikes them. That's a bad sign for the whole idea of, you know, any of that happening. I figure let's go visit the sad dog. Maybe see what else is up here. Grab a drink, friend. Not much else of worth in this town, says the woman from Thane. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Thane. Are these references? Could these be references? Shane shakes Mullerain, Desluk Najitep, and Sila Amen. This area is dense with these characters. They're everywhere. Ooh. Is it saying that you spend 3 lockpicks if you have level 1 mechanics? If you have level 3 mechanics, you spend 0 lockpicks? Huh. Crowned behind the books is a drawing that shows Eothas and Lord Redrick in a compromising position. Ooh, satire. Hey, the Deerwood Part 1, Early Colonial History. Who doesn't want some good old history? It actually is the right part number. Yeah, neat. I've got, oh, and these don't stack. Same item, right? Yeah. They just stop stacking. Alright, well then you can go in the box. And you can go in the box. And you can go in the box. Actually, come back out of the box. Because you stack. There we go. Gotta remember to put them in the right place. Maybe we'll read those. Might be next episode, I don't know. Kinda want to poke around this floor before I look in my book pile. Oh yeah, here's the Black Hound. He's a little guy, isn't he? These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. The hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Sorry, girl, I don't think he's coming back. The girl whines softly again, head tilting. Well, you could come with me. Maybe we'll find him on the way. The dog's ears perk up. It trots over to you and barks happily. Black Hound added to the inventory. Excuse me? There's a pet slot. This game has a pet slot? That's a thing? The small dog has a glossy black coat and an affable disposition. She trots along with at your heels, gazing up devoutly whenever you come to a stop. Aww. That's sweet. There's the little girl. There she is. Is she a bloodhound? Looks like it. The tail is weirdly, like, straight. Now I'm a bit curious. Yep, that's completely ridiculous. Yep. This tiny Titanic pig. Tiny Titanic, what? Has an otherworldly appearance that seems to be at odds with its endearing behavior. It follows you dutifully and requires nothing in return to save companionship. Yeah, but it's weirding me out, and it doesn't fit. That's a little too ridiculous looking. There, I got a little dog following me around at the moment. We'll see. Maybe we will find her master, even though she's totally, definitely dead. Please leave me be. I am full to sickness with what I have seen of this people and this place and its people. Books. Who doesn't like books? You're my book boy. You hold onto my books, and then when I read them, I throw them in the box. Isn't this fun? I have 10 years of dawn. Oh no. You wouldn't want 10 years of dawn. That'd be very bad for everybody involved. Ah. Is that free booze or something that I could have used a moment ago? Nope. It's that stuff. Alright. Put it away. I think the story is waiting for me to rest, isn't it? Seek help for your condition. The magistrate advised me to get some rest while I wait for permanent accommodations. That may be the best thing to put an end to this illness as well. Can I leave, though? I wonder. You ever been to Defiance Bay? Nope. With the roads like they are, I'll stay put. Been thinking about joining family over in Deerfoot. You think the rains would be a boon for the crops? Oops, hello. Speed mode. I can leave to Magron's Fork. I'm perfectly capable of leaving if I want to. I still want to poke around, though. Probably see what happens tomorrow. I don't remember if I even did wait till tomorrow last time, or if I just took off. And then I told her, that's not the pistol. Ha 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 ha. What's up here? Is this just the alternate entrance to the same building? Oh yeah. Just didn't stand out to me as being a door, I suppose. Alright, let's go speed mode. Got some ground to cover. Want to get back to the mill. There we go. This ale tastes funny to you? Oh yeah. I have a hint as to why. Look at the dog go. Look at him go. Look at her go. Genders and whatnot. You're still around in the middle of the night, too.
Hail and well night.
Crumble nods a curt greeting. You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainer? I spoke to Swainer. Crumble takes a deep breath. And? What did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why? That's... Really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. There are other minds with drink, half the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings, to show my appreciation. And you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Keep it. You're having a hard enough time. You're a generous soul, friend. And we'll have you to thank for making it through the coming year. Safe travels, and may you find favor with the gods. If everybody's so on edge of running out of money, then just taking pay kind of just adds to the problem. Unless he really is just full of shit and totally can afford everything. I don't know. Everyone's being murdered and this place is running out of food. It also might be a nice little advantage of maybe I got even more reputation out of that. I don't know. I have not been visibly aware of reputation so far. Alright, let's level up the guy that I don't know how to level up necessarily. Oh no, he also specializes in lore. Because of course he does. I mean, what else would he do as a spellcaster, I suppose? He's high up in lore too. No joke, huh? Scouting, detecting, oops, lore. He used to activate scrolls, so it's still useful. He can now use level 3 spells. 2 points from wizard and 2 points from being in the gentry. He's all aristocratic and shit. Yeah. Being able to give him a bonus wouldn't hurt, as you do from that. Oh boy. So, I haven't even used him in a fight now yet, and he already has level 2 spells available. Okay, let's all settle in and read a lot of spells. And that'll close out the episode. Holy shit. I can also learn level 1 spells, I guess, but obviously I should learn some level 2 spells if they're going to give it to me, right? Since I don't have any yet. Bewildering Spectacle creates a bizarre and perplexing visual distraction, confusing enemies in the area of effect. Now they get confused instead of dazed. Makes the character behave erratically. Every 6 seconds, the target checks randomly to do one of the following: behave normally, attack an ally, or walk in a random direction, or do nothing. Two of those are very helpful. Actually, 3 of them. Them not doing anything would be nice. Behaving normally would be bad. They're confused for 6.5 seconds. So it might trigger twice. It might trigger at 0 seconds and then 6 seconds, but then he needs more duration for it to affect more. But yeah, behave normally means that it doesn't do anything, which is already in addition to the possibility that the effect might not even... They might resist the effect to begin with. But then they might attack an ally, they might walk around, which is also good because on top of doing nothing, it also means they might get disengagement attacks on them and then do nothing. Which just means they just will stand there for a bit, I guess. Binding Web. Ooh, I have 2 slots. Cool. Spins a resilient, viscous web through the area of effect, leaving an unfortunate victim stuck inside. Ooh. Stick some people in a web is good for crowd control. Bulwark against the elements. 15 damage reduction on burn, shock, corrode, and freeze. Only works on the caster though, it's a self-cast. But it means for like a solid minute he's very resistant to spells. Combusting Wounds. Causes enemy wounds in the area of effect to ignite, inflicting additional burn damage over each time they are wounded. Wow, that's a horrifying spell. What's that? You got a cut there? Now you're on fire. On that spot, specifically. 5 burn damage. Five burn damage over time when dealt damage over 26 seconds. So it gives them, so it doesn't trigger the existing wounds. It's that they gain a status effect where they will take 5 burn damage every time they get hit. House Corrosive Siphon. Drains corrode damage's endurance for 13 seconds. So it attacks people while healing him. Curse of Blackened Sight. Shrouds the target's vision in total darkness, blinding them. So a blind spell. Fetid Caress. Target becomes paralyzed, afflicted with boiling pustules of foul-smelling liquid that have erupt from their skin, sickening those nearby. Sickening is actually an effect too. All attributes are reduced by 1. Fortitude and will are reduced by 10. Sickening is not a big thing. But the main target's paralyzed, which means that they don't do shit. Yeah, they cannot take any action for 10 seconds, which is fantastic. Overrides, stunned, stuck, and prone. They'll stop doing anything for 10 seconds and then also have this effect on the people around them. Which, I suppose, Infused with vital essence. It's once again a self-cast, though. So, give himself 50 max endurance, 50 max health for a minute. Merciless Gaze. Caster becomes able to see an enemy's weaknesses and vulnerabilities as though they were physically tangible, increasing the chance of landing a critical hit. Increases their own crit chance by 15% for a minute. It's nice and long, but it still only affects the caster. Miasma of dull-mindedness. Creates a heavy fog. A cloud of heavy fog settles in the minds of those in the area of effect. Dulling the senses and wits inflicts penalties on perception, intellect, and resolve. Mirrored Image. Creates duplicates of the caster to distract enemies, granting a high deflection bonus, which is reduced with each hit taken. So last time it would go away if you got hit once, I think, and this one it gets reduced. I don't think it says how much it's reduced. Necrotic Lance. Pure necrotic injury, doing a bunch of corrode damage. Instantly and over time. Oh, geez. It's like 50 damage, then plus 33. Yeah, somehow I think we're gonna kill that bear if it lets me go back there, which I don't know if it will. Ray of Fire. Another single target spell, doing fire and burning. Oh. A scorching ray of flame between the caster and the target, inflicting continual burn damage to the target and anyone caught in the ray. So it's a... It is an AoE, but in a straight line. Rolling Flame. Creates a bounding ball of fire, inflicting burn damage upon anyone in its path. Also neat. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind trying to pick spells to do next from this list. I think I'm gonna go with Curse of Blackened Sight, which is an AoE blind. Nice, strong status effect there. In particular, it reduces their accuracy by 25, which when I clicked on a hit, when I looked at hit earlier, it was defined as a number that's 51 or above when somebody rolls like a D100 essentially. So a 25 is a 25% essentially, like that's huge. And then Combusting Wounds. That just amplifies all damage across the board, across the entire party. It should be good now, should be way better when we have a full party, I'm hoping. There you go, buddy. Did my reading.